Dolphins fans, it's your boy Willie Fins. Hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. Full transparency, I am filming this before the Cincinnati Bengals game on Thursday night. I wanted to get you guys a video even though I'm going to be out of town. So I'm out of town as this video is going out. So we're talking about some trade candidates, and if a player gets traded before this video goes out, or if this player goes off on Thursday night against Cincinnati, don't get mad at me. But that's why we're doing this video for you guys, just to get you guys a video while I'm out of town. I'll be at a Syracuse homecoming. Go Qs. Guys, let me know down in the comment section, who should the Dolphins trade? Go down in the comment section. Let me know. It's the pinned comment. Reply to it. Who should the Dolphins trade? Who's a guy that you think they need to ship away? Number 5 on my list here, we'll give you the top 5, is Eric Rowe. And the reason for that is because he just hasn't really gotten that many snaps this season for the Fins. He's looked decent when he is on the field, but just just 4 starts the last 2 seasons, after being a full-time starter in 2019 and 2020. So he's the third safety right now behind Javon Holland and Brandon Jones. He's not as valuable. Other teams, maybe like the Falcons that need secondary depth, might need a player like Rowe a little bit more than we do at this point. So Eric Rowe, certainly a name to watch. I said several months ago that I thought he was going to get traded before the start of the season. He hasn't, but still he's a name to watch here as we're a couple weeks from the deadline. Jerome Baker is another name to watch. And I understand that he led the team in tackles against the Bills in that big win last week, but his coverage grade on PFF is abysmal. I think his overall grade, too, is like a 57, so he hasn't looked great, and that makes him a trade candidate here, especially when you look at the linebacker depth that the Dolphins have. They believe that Channing Tindall is the future, right? And Channing Tindall will be starting for this team at some point. I don't know about this year, but in future years. Landon Roberts has been a pleasant surprise. He's looked really, really good this year. Melvin Ingram's been a stud. JP's still looking to get it going. Jerome Baker is certainly a trade candidate. Another reason that he's a trade candidate is because Deion Jones continues to be linked to the Dolphins. In fact, Bleacher Report listed Jones as the number 1 trade target for the Dolphins. I don't know if I'd agree with that. I think there's other needs on this football team, including the offensive line, but they list Deion Jones as the number 1 trade target for Miami. I'd really like Deion Jones. Maybe Jerome Baker would be included in a trade for Deion. Who'd you rather have, guys? I don't think you can have both. Who'd you rather have? Deion Jones or Jerome Baker? Type DJ or type JB down in the comment section. Go down, chime in. Would you rather have Deion Jones or Jerome Baker starting at linebacker for the Fins? Austin Jackson is a trade candidate. I did not think he was going to be a trade candidate 3 weeks into the season here, but he is, because Greg Little has stepped up in his place. Little has played phenomenal. AJ is currently on IR. He cannot return until week 6 at the earliest. And like I said, Little has played well in his place. I was nervous about Greg starting at the right tackle position, but he has exceeded my expectations. He has looked legit. He got a little bit banged up in that Buffalo game, but he returned, and he played a big part in that win along the offensive line. Taking a look here at the offensive line depth chart. This might change when Brandon Shell gets activated, but right now, Larnell Coleman, the backup swing tackle, he's been brought up from the practice squad twice already. Teron Armstead, Liam Eichenberg, Connor Williams, Robert Hunt, and Greg Little, your starting 5 until AJ gets back. But Greg Little's looked good, at least up until the Cincinnati game here on Thursday night, which, of course, this is being recorded before that Bengals game. Guys, you can go bet on the Fins all season long at chatsports.com/bet. If you use promo code Dolphins125, you're going to get a 125% deposit bonus. That means if you put $100 in, you're going to get $125 additional cash to bet with. And guys, the Fins are off to a great start this year. I've made a lot of money betting on the Fins. You can do the same if you go to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Dolphins125 for that 125% deposit bonus. Myles Gaskin is next up on my list here, my number 2 trade candidate for the Dolphins in terms of who's most likely to get traded. Gaskin, going into the Cincinnati game here, has not gotten any carries this season. Very surprising. I understand that he's RB3 behind Edmonds and Mostert, but still, I thought after Sony Michel got cut, the team was showing faith in Gaskin that he would have a role this season. He was RB1 last season, was not good enough to have that big of a role, but he's one of the better third running backs in the league. So for him not to get a carry yet, a little bit weird. That makes him a trade candidate. The Dolphins, clearly don't really need him. You have Saleh Ahmed on this team as well. You got Zaquandre White on the practice squad. So Gaskin could get traded. Let's say an injury happens around the league at the running back position. I guarantee you Gaskin's going to be the first call for a lot of those teams. Guys, go down and subscribe to the channel for news, rumors, watch parties, and more. If you joined us for a Dolphins watch party, you know how much fun we like to have here. We do a lot of crazy things. So subscribe for news, rumors, watch parties, and more. That's the sub link right there. YouTube.com/Dolphins News. And be sure to go down and turn on your notifications because it's the best way to stay in the loop with Miami Dolphins news and rumors. We've had you covered throughout the entire season. And look, the Dolphins are going to make a Super Bowl run. You want to stay in the loop with it, Fins? Go down, subscribe to the channel. Next up on my list here, Mike Gesicki, the tight end. He certainly was in trade rumors really right before the start of the season. Those trade rumors came out of nowhere, but we heard Albert Breer of NFL Network talk about it. Mike McDaniel was asked about it. He didn't really have a lot to say on that, but many think that Gesicki isn't a fit in Mike McDaniel's offense. He's having to block more. He's having to be more of a true tight end. He's made some decent plays. I mean, when he gets involved, he's really good. I want to see him get more involved here as the season goes on, but still a lot of people think Gesicki's not a fit. Not to mention he's in his last year of his contract. He was franchise tagged. All right, let's take a look at some pros and cons here, potential Gesicki trade. Con, the clear con, you take away a weapon from Tua Tagovailoa. Tua's having a great year. You don't want to take away a weapon from Tua, even though it's a guy that he really hasn't thrown to that much. The clear pros, you're probably going to lose him in free agency, so you might as well get something in return. Now, because this is worth noting, because Gesicki was franchise tagged, the Dolphins are going to get compensation probably if he leaves in free agency, maybe a third or fourth round pick. So if you're not going to get a third or fourth round pick for him in a trade, you shouldn't trade him. Another con is it's too early in the season, right? We're not even a quarter into the season yet. And a lot of people are saying, well, Gesicki's not a fit. He hasn't really gotten involved. Let's trade him. It's too early in the season, potentially, to give up on him and trade him. Maybe right at the deadline would be the time to trade for Gesicki. I still wouldn't do it then. Another pro is you got more reps for your young tight ends, Hunter Long and Tanner Conner. Both of those guys on the 53-man roster haven't really gotten involved here at the start of the season, so that's the pro as well, that you can get more reps for your younger tight ends. Guys, what do you think? Is Mike Gesicki going to get traded at any point this season? Type Y for yes or type N for no down in the comment section. Go down and let me know. I would not trade Mike Gesicki. I understand he hasn't really gotten involved. He's had somewhat of a down year in terms of production, in terms of targets. I still would trade him. I think he's really good. Did y'all see that catch against the Ravens? Yeah, don't trade Mike Gesicki. All right, let's recap. Number 5 is Eric Rowe, a safety. Jerome Baker, the linebacker, number 4. Maybe a Deion Jones swap possible there. Austin Jackson is on this list because of how well Greg Little has played in his place. Myles Gaskin, Mike Gesicki as well on my list here. Rowe, Baker, Jackson, Gaskin, Gesicki, 5 through 1 there on that list. Go down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about everything. While you're down there, go hit that big red sub button and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be back from Syracuse on Tuesday, and I'll talk to you guys again with another video then.